In the year 39 AD, the Roman Empire bore witness to the dawn of perhaps the most twisted and outrageous reign in its history. After seizing power at just 24 years old, the new Emperor Gaius, known today as Caligula, wasted no time indulging in the absolute authority now at his fingertips. He embarked on an extravagant and depraved spree unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. But Caligula grew bored with the usual vices of emperorship. Seeking ever more thrilling and perverse entertainment, he devised his own deranged take on traditional gladiatorial arena spectacles. The masses eagerly flocked to the Colosseum, expecting typical games and pageantry. But little did they know they were about to behold deadly contests and stunts conjured straight from Caligula's twisted imagination. On this day, a roar erupted across the sands as exotic beasts were paraded into the arena's holding pens. Capuchin monkeys chattered loudly, their tiny gold vests glinting in the sun. Lions and panthers paced nervously, as if sensing the warped spectacle about to unfold. From his imperial viewing box, draped in purple silk, Caligula nodded and flashed a malevolent grin. His latest unthinkable brand of entertainment was about to begin. The bizarre menagerie of animals was but a hint of the perversity and madness to come, for this was no ordinary day of games in the arena. The audience was unwittingly part of a new chapter in Rome's long history of bread and circuses, one that would live on in infamy. Caligula's extravagance and hedonism knew no bounds. He constructed lavish palaces and flotilla ships adorned with exotic delicacies, jewels and wines for lavish feasts. He declared himself an incarnate deity, dressing in silks and demanding temple sacrifices made in his name. But Caligula desired pleasures far darker than mere luxury. He forced senators' wives into affairs, then boasted of the adultery. It's rumored he committed incest with his own sisters, and his cruel sadism was unmatched, with victims tortured, skinned, and fed to animals for minor offences. Seeking ever more depraved entertainment, Caligula would wander the streets at night with his Praetorian guard, abducting bystanders to torture or execute on a whim. He delighted in watching prisoners fight to the death or enact battles from mythology. Soon, these antics bored Caligula too. Being ruler, he could stage any spectacle imaginable in the Colosseum. Thus were born his demented deadly game shows, pitting captured slaves and criminals in outlandish contests and stunts. Chariots dragged prisoners through beds of flaming hot nails. Capuchin monkeys enacting myths would burn victims alive if the performance displeased Caligula. Tightrope walkers above carnivorous lion pits dared not fall. Scores took poison at each match's end to satisfy his bloodlust faster. On and on his twisted imagination conjured ever more shocking games. Some were forced to gorge on exotic animals live before starving beasts were released. Others reenacted their own crimes, but with reversed outcomes. What madness might Caligula demand next in his Colosseum of cruelty? As if the horror already wasn't enough, Caligula's creativity for cruel spectacles knew no bounds. He was about to take his Colosseum contests to even greater heights of depravity. Caligula figured the people enjoyed mock naval battles in the flooded arena pit, or was his brush with death a catalyst that unlocked a dormant madness within? So why not use real warships instead of models? The massive vessels nearly capsized, killing all aboard during the violent clash. Another time, Caligula made a senator fight for his life against a massive carnivore. But first he had the man's tongue cut off, hands severed and legs broken, just to keep things interesting. Caligula also pioneered feeding criminals to beasts in new creative ways. Some were sewn up inside fresh animal carcasses, then thrown into lion enclosures. Others were covered in meat and honey, then chained to stakes as bears and jackals swarmed hungrily. His most demented stunt involved prisoners catapulting into a pit of starved crocodiles. The further they flew before becoming reptile fodder, the more days their families were spared execution. Soon Caligula ran out of acceptable victims and turned to the audience itself for fresh meat. Those who dared cheer too loudly risked being dragged into the arena beast's jaws as their reward. Attendance briefly boomed as word spread of the insane spectacles. But Romans quickly tired of this deranged reality entertainment long before terms like jumping the shark existed. Caligula's unhinged reign lasted just 4 brief, bloody years. His habitual debauchery, sadism, and bankrupting extravagance fueled widespread resentment. Whispers of discontent turned to outright mockery. Rome's elite despised the ruler's blatant insanity and public humiliations. In the year 41, Caligula was assassinated by members of the Senate and Praetorian Guard. Enraged conspirators stabbed the despot 30 times, ending his life as ruthlessly as he'd ruled. Some say his last crazed act was declaring himself Venus incarnate. Caligula's successor worked quickly to destroy his tarnished legacy. Game shows were banned, records burned, statues demolished, but memories persisted of Rome's most flamboyantly wicked ruler. Later historians chronicled Caligula's folly and excess for posterity. His name became synonymous with unhinged tyrants. Centuries later, details of his vile reign and Colosseum cruelty still elicit disbelief. Caligula's story endures as a warning against the dangers of unchecked authority and depravity. The echoes of cheering crowds, frenzied by his immoral spectacles, should remain a sobering reminder even now of humanity's darker latent impulses, and represents the most sinister manifestation of the human condition, and serves as a critical reminder that the past was the worst.
Oh, hello there, dear viewer. Still here, are we? Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this journey through the absurdities of history. If you're looking for more content like this, here's what the YouTube gods think you will want next. If you wish to support the channel further, feel free to check the description below for some useful links, and bye for now.